One of the ways you can increase your distance is to understand the 3 laws of physics and your launch angle to maximize your carry time. Hi, I'm PGA professional Eric Jones, 2-time world long drive champion, and understanding the laws of physics and working on my launch angle is one of the things that really helped me get the most out of every shot that I hit. Now we know, basically based on physics, that the ideal launch angle for most amateur golfers is somewhere between 14 to 16 degrees. What the heck is that? Well, let me give you an idea. The average driver loft is somewhere between 10 and 11. And we need a 14 to 16 degree launch angle. That means you should be hitting up on the ball anywhere from 4 to 6 degrees. So the ideal stroke as you're coming into impact with your driver is hitting the ball on the upswing somewhere around 4 to 5 degrees. Now, those might be a little bit specific, but what I can tell you is that at least half of the golfers that I work with, my students, hit the ball on the downswing. They actually have a descending stroke coming into impact. So what I want you to do is I want you to experiment to find the bottom of your swing and change your ball position so that with your driver, you're making contact on the upswing. Here's the way I want you to do this. The first thing I want you to do is grab an iron. And now what I'm going to do is explain the classic stance, and then I'm going to have you start striking the turf. And we're going to find out where the bottom of your swing is. Now, in an ideal setup, what we'd really love to have is the front toe turned out about 20 degrees and the back foot square in our stance. What that allows us to do is make a good pivot back and full rotation all the way to the target. Now, if I just start with my feet together, put a ball in my forward position, turn my front toe out 20 degrees, and then step to the back, the ball is in a perfect driver position, which is to say on the inside part of the left heel. And the reason that that's perfect on average is that for most players, that position is going to be just past the bottom of their downswing and up on the upswing. Yours might be different. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to grab an iron, and I'd like you to use this experiment using 2 rods on the ground. You could use 2 clubs on the ground, and I want you to experiment with your ball position. Here's what I'd like you to do. Start off with the ball in the perfect position that I just showed you, and the rod in a driver position up on your left heel. Then I want you to make a swing and more or less make the divot with your iron, or at least brush the grass, and watch where your club makes contact. What we're trying to do is find out where the bottom of your swing is. So as I'm making contact, I'm going to make a little divot, and notice when I made this divot that this contact point is about 2 or 3 inches in back of my alignment rod. That's the bottom of my swing. And what I'm going to have you do is move your driver position up about 3 inches from that position. So I want you to keep swinging and keep brushing the grass and keep adjusting your impact position to see where you're making contact. A fair percentage of golfers that I work with aren't consistent about where they're placing their ball in the stance. This is going to help you to understand ideally where it ought to be placed. So if you're hitting the ball and you're making contact with the ground way in the back, then that means the ball should be back in your stance. So this is the setup that I'd like you to do. Then I want you to take your driver, and once you've found where the bottom of your swing is, make sure that you're in position, and then get used to teeing off. Use your alignment rods to tee off in the same place with the ball in the same position in your stance relative to your heels each and every time. Everybody's swing and everybody's physiology is a little bit different. So what you want to do is what works for you. Remember that the goal isn't necessarily to match the ideal, but it's to match the swing that works best for you. So find the bottom of your swing, where your club's making contact, move it 2 inches up to 3 inches up from there for your driver position. Try making contact, and then look for making contact on the upswing. Let's hit one. And that's about a nice 14-degree launch angle. It's going to maximize my carryout. I have a lot more great instruction in a program I call the 5 Keys to Distance. It's actually the training program I use to get ready for the World Long Drive Championship every year. There's more information on it below. Click the link to find out more, and I'll see you down the fairway.